Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Voicebox podcast. I'm Kiana, your facilitator, and I also have here with me Miss Shalandra, who is my co-facilitator. And then we have here with us our amazing host, Deja, Kanidra, Devon, and Robert. And today for our hot topic, we're going to be talking about Meg the Stallion and Tory Lanez. Yes, I know y'all seen it all over y'all Twitter and your Instagram in the Shade Room. So today we're going to discuss it. But first, I want to give a little rundown on the situation for those who don't know who these people are or what even happened. So, Megan Thee Stallion is a Houston, Texas native famous rapper, and she was friends with Tory Lanez, who is a Canadian native famous rapper. And on July 12th, these two had attended a Hollywood party. And while driving home from the party with a few other friends, some type of altercation must have happened, and Megan was shot in her feet. Now, there was a lot of speculation that it was Tory who shot her, but Megan did not confirm this until she did an Instagram live on August 20th, where she admitted that yes, it was rapper Tory Lanez who had shot her. Now, the shooting has prompted a range of responses since July 12th, including radio silence from hip hop's biggest players, distasteful and mean jokes about Megan on social media, but also support from her from others in the music industry and other people on social media. A week after the shooting, Megan tweeted this: Black women are so unprotected, and we hold so many things in to protect the feelings of others without considering our own. It might be funny to y'all on the internet and just another messy topic for you to talk about, but this is my real life, and I'm real life hurt and traumatized. Now, on Instagram Live, Megan also admitted that she didn't want to confirm it was Tory, and she didn't even tell the police it was him the night it happened because she didn't want to escalate the situation further than it was, especially with all that's going on in our climate with all the police brutality that's happening. So this whole situation has just sparked a pretty intense conversation on Instagram and Twitter, and a lot of black young girls and even older black women are admitting and saying they agree with Megan that they do not feel protected by black men. So that is what our future leaders are going to give their opinions on today for our hot topic. So stay tuned.
People are more worried about Megan's new song with Cardi B than when she got shot. Like, I don't know. She said a lyric in her song, like, I don't know. Somebody had compared it. It was something about, like, kind of like beat me or something. And they were like, that's probably why she got shot, really reaching, because nobody deserves to be shot or, like, killed or whatever. Well, not killed, like domestic violence, but I don't know. I don't know the full story. So, but he was wrong.
He was.
Oh, I didn't really follow that story that you guys were talking about with Megan and Tory, so I don't really know much about it, but I agree with Kanidra and Deja about how women protect men more than men protect. But that's it. Yeah, okay.
Why do you feel like black women's stories like Megan's are like met with mockery and jokes and they're not like taken seriously?
That's a great question. I feel like because I have seen this before where women who have had something, traumatic like this happen to them, and then it's like a different, like men don't show the same love as if it was, switched and something like this happened to the man, and then like, women be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, is everything okay? Um, Honestly, like I feel like I don't have a solid answer for that, but it's just so prevalent nowadays. And maybe it's because with Megan, I don't know, maybe people don't take her seriously because of her music. Um, I'm really not sure, but I feel like a lot of men just don't feel like there's that big of an issue when it comes to like traumatic stuff happening to women, particularly black women. There's not the same response as if it might have been like a different woman, like a different race. Um, so yeah, but that was a really great question. I would have to really think about that. But yeah.
It's my turn. I just feel like it's honestly has always been like that with men in general. but to defend, let's say, even when like a white woman being raped by a man or so, it's taken way more seriously. People are getting lynched, they're getting put in jail with no evidence, probably didn't even do it. And when Black women say it, you just never really, people are never really taken seriously. Like, you can tell a close family member, people aren't still taking it serious. And I just feel like it's kind of always been that way, and it's very sad. And even in Megan's situation, it doesn't matter what she talks about in her music or anything, nobody deserves to be shot. And it should be something that's taken seriously. Now, if it was Katy Perry, you know, they would have probably been falling out, doing protests, and that's crazy. And you would think we've come so far from the 60s and the 70s or 50s, but honestly, it's really just the same. It's just modernized. And that's why Black men, instead of, you know, talking down on us, degrading us, like, because we're not exotic, instead of Black men degrading us, they should be protecting us and defending us, because we are a part of them. The same way we defend George Floyd and those people who are out, who just passed away, who are Black men, we need to have that same respect for Black women. Same as if when Breonna Taylor, everybody was protesting for George Floyd and so much change had come. Breonna Taylor's police officers who killed her, they aren't even in jail, or nothing is happening for her as a Black woman. But Jacob Blake just got killed. Not killed. He just got shot several times, like a couple of days ago. And like the whole NBA stops. It's like the world stops when it's a Black man. But when do the world stop when it's a Black female? So that's just how I think of it.
Yes. So do you feel like that has to do with like the stereotype that us as Black women have to be strong? Like any ounce of us being viewed as weak is not being taken seriously.
Yes.
Y'all agree with that?
Yeah.
I just wrote an essay on Black women. So. I was like, maybe I should take some stuff from my essay.
Yeah, I think the whole societal stereotypes dating back as what, you know, Kenidra has said from the 60s and 70s, Black women are supposed to be strong, they're not supposed to show weakness. You know, they're supposed to take care of everyone, you know, but nobody really takes care of them. And pointing to basically what Kenidra was saying about protests, about Black women, how we're always there, we're on the front lines when it comes to a Black man, anything happening, a Black man, Black women are on the front lines, we're right then and there. But when it's switched, when it's reversed, when it was Aiyana Jones, you know, there wasn't that much noise being made for their justice, for her justice. So I do think there are a lot of discrepancies with Black women defending and being that leader, I guess you can say, being that mother, being that person that takes on that role to fight justice. And then when you flip it, there's not really anybody in our corner that's fighting as strong as we are for justice for our Black men.
Okay, Robert, do you have anything you want to add to this subject?
It's the whole world does stop when a Black man or something happens to them, but it's not the same energy when it's a Black woman. You know, you piggybacking off what they're saying, really is just like the stereotype of a Black woman is always being strong or having the tenacity just to have herself, you know, at a high level, or just not needing anyone, being real independent. But you know, she still does need a support system. She still needs a crowd behind her. You know, it still takes a village and everything to help that person. But you know, you don't really see that in today's society or even back then. So yeah, I agree with this.
Long story short, it's basically ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but I mean, I hope that in the near future that, you know, some type of change will happen. But yeah, overall, it's just ridiculous.
Okay, last question on this subject. I'm gonna ask you, Devon. I'm gonna ask you first as a male. So what do you think will cause Black men to begin to stand up and protect Black women? What do you think will cause that shift and that change? Because a lot of times on social media, it's kind of like the mob mentality. where it's like it's kind of like when one of them do it, they all do it. Like when is going to be that one that stands up and can speak and protect us, not just in public, but in private, because that's where the real change happens. So what are your thoughts on that?
In all honesty, I mean, it's like what you said is like when you look at like Kobe, whenever he does an action or whatever he says, or even like LeBron, how they have such a big platform, it's like all the other guys is like, oh, well, they did it, well, let me follow them, let me follow in their footsteps. But yeah, also when you look at a lot of African American, or just not even African American, just women in general, and you know, all the achievements and accomplishments they may have done, like men kind of just don't really acknowledge that. I don't really know why. That stereotype for guys, or that personality that guys should have, it's like nonsense. And I mean, I just hope that not even just men with huge platforms, but just men like me and Rob will be willing to like tell other men like it's fine to, or the right thing to do is to respect women, to protect them, to acknowledge their accomplishments, to praise them, because they deserve it. They are more deserving of whatever they have than us. They worked hard for it, you know, and like what Kenedra said, how it's crazy how I believe the Women's Right Act was like acknowledged at like 1960 or some around that area, the 60s, 70s. That's not too long ago. So they are just now freshly out of like women having their rights, and women are saying that they don't even feel like it. So it doesn't make sense. So
Okay, Kenedra or Deja, do you guys have any final thoughts you want to add to this topic?
Even I just feel like Black men in general, or Black women, they kind of get shadowed. Just like the WNBA, they actually brought awareness first. They boycotted first. Like this week, they boycotted, and they all walked out with bullet holes on their back, and they all walked out the game. But as soon as LeBron did it, it was like they got overshadowed, and they're the ones who did it first. And I just feel like that's just in any other situation. Just like people forget, like now others are forgetting about Breonna Taylor because now it's Jacob Blake, and she's still a hashtag. George Floyd is no longer a hashtag. It's still more work needs to be done, but there's has been action put in place. And I just feel like, you know, as people, everything starts at home, and as a race, like it has to start with our own Black men. Once our Black men take us seriously, once they start to respect us and treat us as a whole, and not call us angry, and not put us in stereotypical names, ratchet, crazy, Black women are this, that, and that. Once they start to see us for the independent, the confident, the loving, hardworking women, just like they see the other exotic women, beautiful women, like a lot could change. Other races would be able to see the same thing. And I feel like, you know, other people do see that in Black women, but it has to start at home. It's like really and truly hurtful when like you have rappers that only say they only want to date light skins and white girls and exotic people, and they're very wrong about it. But let a Black woman date a white man. Like it's like, oh my gosh, you just went against your own race. Like it's like you being crucified by your own community. And I just feel like it should start at home, like within our community and race. And then once we protect, just like they'll see it happening, and they'll jump on the trend, just like they jump on the trend with light skins and Kim K's and stuff like that. They jump on that, they will see us for us. So I just feel like starting at home, our Black men need to start protecting us and making us feel just as beautiful as they make other women feel as well. So,
yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say it all starts at home, and it kind of just reminded me of the Tupac song, "Keep Your Head Up," and you know just how he said, you know, we came from a woman, we got our game from a woman. God, excuse me, we got our name from a woman, but I wonder why we take from our women. I wonder why, you know, we rape our women. Do we hate our women? I think it's time we kill for our women. I think it's time to heal our women and, you know, be real to our women. So it's time. And I think, as like I said, Kanija has said, it starts in, you know, our home, you know, and I think we need to change the narrative that, you know, society has shadowed upon Black women, the stereotypes. Like, we need to change that. And then it also needs to be changed at home, because when they go out, they can know that that their mom or their dad or their aunt or whoever has taught them to love a Black woman, to lift up a Black woman, to defend, to protect, to, you know, be proud of a Black woman. So I think there needs to be more of that, and in, you know, our homes and in our societies as well.
Y'all giving some great answers. So because of what y'all saying, I'm going to flip the second thing we were supposed to talk about, just because of some things y'all said. You and, make sure I get her name right, you and Kanidra.
Yes.
Because I heard y'all talking about how it all starts in the home. It all starts in the home. So my question to you all would be, how do you think the way that we are raised affects the way we treat people, the way we treat men, treat women, the way we view men and women, how we respect them, all of that, since you guys were talking about it starts in the home. Yes. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so Deja, you can go. I'll go.
I think, like I said, it, you know, starts in your home. It starts where, you know, you live, where you grow up, your space, your surroundings. What you see is what you pick up. You know, what you hear, you might start to you might start to say that your feelings and stuff like that. So I feel like we get everything because we are humans. We are creatures that we learn by looking at other people. We learn by seeing others do it. So then we, you know, start to follow. So if we see someone, if like we have people around us that constantly dates people that aren't, you know, in like, you know, our race, then we're gonna think, oh, I guess, you know, I should be doing that too, because that's all, you know, that I see. That's all that I am around. I'm not around other people, other, you know, Black men who date women that are darker than me or who look like me. So I think it's really about your surroundings, what you see, what you grow up. And I feel like that really shapes you. That shapes who, you know, you are, and that shapes who you become as a person.
Yes, I would say it definitely does, because you got to think about it this way. Most Black men don't even grow up, because they grew up in a single parent home, they don't grow up seeing their father love a woman correctly. Yes. So they tend to just go based on whatever society's showing them, whatever they friends doing, whatever they cousin doing, and that don't always be the best. So it really don't. Kanidra or Devon, do y'all want to add anything?
Yes, she said it all. It's honestly, I just feel like, it's honestly, you know, what you hear, that's what you learn. Even for them talking down, like everybody, I don't know, at middle school or like middle school, everybody went through the stage of like dating a light skin or being
that light skin trend.
The light skin trend. But listen, that's not what I'm saying. I never was a part of that trend. I don't jump on bandwagons. I just never did. But plus I wasn't allowed to date. But anyways. I'm just saying, like, I've heard Black boys say all the time, like, to other girls, like, I would never date you, are dark, like, I want mixed kids, like, making women of color calling their hair nappy. They want kids with long, pretty mixed hair. And I'm guarantee you, everybody done heard that, because even when I heard, I was at a lunch table before in middle school, and I heard people say that, making me think like, oh, I need to marry somebody Puerto Rican or something like that so my kids can look nice, when you shouldn't have to think like that, when you shouldn't have to feel that way. I'm glad I was raised around people where I had a strong mind to be able to love myself and love my people and love my culture, because like, it's really some people out there that that struggle. That's why people bleach their skin, is because of what they hear other people say. Nobody just wakes up in the morning and be like, I want to be a lighter skin, I want to look different. It's clearly something that makes you want to change something about you. That's why they're getting surgeries, because they're trying to fit in what society is presenting to them. They want to be attracted to what society is allowing them to be or to fit in this perspective. And like, me and Deja was just talking today. Like, I was just talking about like rappers and stuff, like about their music. Like, they're literally fitting in what society wants them. They're talking about stuff that I feel like should never be played on the radio, but that's what sells. And then you have little girls around here singing it. Like, I see girls on TikToks, little kids like doing WAP on TikTok. Like, it's ridiculous. And that's what you see. You are example. People, adults and celebrities don't realize the examples they are to children and those around them. So that's what they see, that's what they repeat. So when people see like rappers only like in light skins talking about this, Kodak saying that Black women are ugly, things like that, that's what little boys look at. And if you look at today's society, I don't know no rapper right now that dates a dark skin.
Okay. Well, let's put some encouragement out there. So for Kenidra and Deja, since y'all have been both talking about colorism, what are some ways that young girls can overcome just feeling not enough and just feeling that inadequacy, like they'll never live up to this standard?
By simply the people around them telling them that they're beautiful and that they're adorable and their hair, because I don't know why, but Black people, like, they always, like, everything is a joke to them. Like, words kind of in Black fam, they be like, sticks and stone may break my bone, but words don't. Words last and words hurt. Ain't nobody gonna tell me, oh, nobody can't say this to me and it's not gonna affect me. No, words hurt. So when people make simple jokes to you and talk about you, the way you look or your hair or something like that, which Black people do all the time, they call you different names and they can be quote unquote joking, but that sticks with you. So just simply telling somebody that they're beautiful, that they're pretty, that they are so gorgeous, their skin looks good, their hair is pretty, oh my gosh, like simply just being an ally or just simply being a parent or a relative, a good one, and just simply saying good things, I feel like can bring attention, because it's already enough that other races are so amazed and they always have something to say about each one of us. But when it's coming from home, like around you, negativity, it's just, just simply being good.
And I even want to speak to like the people who may be listening to this and they don't have that. I would say affirmations is a great thing to do, because once you start, it's kind of like when you sit there and you recite negative things, you think negative things, and you start thinking it, you start becoming it, you start feeling that way about yourself. So I feel like so many young girls, even young boys, and just people our age, they could flip it. Even if it feels awkward, they could look themselves in the mirror every day saying, I'm beautiful, I'm enough, more than enough, I'm worthy. All those things I feel like will really help people out with that colorism issue. Anybody else? I don't know how much time we have left.
Yeah, basically what you all said. I talked about my mom, like wanting to start or wanting to do, I guess you could say conventions or like meetings, I guess. Probably conventions is like the right word, with just teen girls or like, younger girls, because I know that when I was young, my confidence was not high at all. I didn't really think I was, even the prettiest, just to be pretty, I kind of didn't feel like I fell in that ranking. Um, and then especially seeing like the type of boys, like the boys and like the type of girls that they would date and stuff like that, I just felt like I didn't match up to that. So, but now, 18 years later, I love myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm happy in the skin that I am, the way that I look. And it took me a long time to realize that, but I do think having people in, your corner, like for example, a mom and my dad, even though it's, you kind of hear it well, a lot of people hear it and then some don't hear it. But for those that do hear, their mom might tell you, oh, you're so beautiful, you're pretty, that, right? And you just hear that every single day. And you're like, yeah, I know that, mom, but you don't really take it to heart because it's like, well, they're my mom, they're my dad, they're supposed to say that. But I think just hearing stuff like that every single day at least boosts your confidence. Hearing that from other people, affirmations, as you said, I think is really great, because the more you say it, the more you start to believe it, and the more nobody can tell you otherwise. Like, nobody can tell you that you're not worth it, because you're worth it. Nobody can't tell you that you're not pretty, because you look at yourself in the mirror every day and say that I am beautiful, I'm pretty, and I'm a beautiful Black girl. Nobody can't tell you otherwise. So I do think affirmations, speaking light and life into yourself definitely helps, and having other people as well speak life into you helps as well.